Hello puppies, and today is a bit of an odd video. You remember in video number 1 when I said as far as the channel goes I'm going to be adding some selfish content of my own? Yes, today is one of those days. And oddly enough, it brings us back to Percy Jackson. Now, the reason why Percy Jackson comes back into play with what I want to talk to today is because most of you probably don't know, but today is National Book Day, where, people come out and they read. I had somebody that I met a couple days ago who was actually setting up a whole book nook reading area for their grandchildren, just to be able to relax and enjoy the day for a good reading day together. So, on that note, if my dates are correct, today is National Book Day. And what I wanted to talk about was the book that really started my passion in reading and in writing. And oddly enough, it was Percy Jackson. I was not a big reader. I didn't really have a big passion to read. I was like, ooh, TV, Saturday morning cartoons. It was great. But it wasn't until I got into elementary school and I read Percy Jackson for the first time as one of our reading assignments in class that I was like, hey, this is really fun. I'm reading what is happening. I can envision everything that is going on inside of my own brain. And that, in itself, kind of appealed to me more than watching something on a screen. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love movies. I probably love movies more than I should. But reading opens up this door of imagination, and it was Percy Jackson in about 4th or 5th grade that really opened that up for me. And then Percy Jackson kind of opened up the door for other books for me to start reading. So, for example, next came the Harry Potter series, my favorite of which is the 3rd one, Prisoner of Azkaban. I like this one a lot more just because you get to see a lot more, mythical creatures. This is kind of the first one where you get to learn more about, Harry's father's past, and, time travel. Who doesn't like time travel? So I read all the Harry Potter books, and I loved delving into that world, and it was just something that really captivated my interest, along with the millions across the world. And then as I got older and got into middle school and into high school, my mom introduced me to books like The Thin Woman and Ashes in the Wind, which you guys might recognize from the first book listing. It's because these were both books that I had read a long time ago. Well, I guess not that long, few years, but they were both books that I really, really enjoyed and wouldn't have minded reading again as to popular vote. But these kinds of books and even just diversity, were all things that I wound up really, really enjoying. And what happened is when I started middle school is I was like, hey, why can't I delve into something that I love? So as every young person, I think, does with a franchise or series they love, they create fan fiction. Yeah, fan fiction. And my 12-year-old self had started a fan fiction on ya boy, Spider-Man. And basically, I filled up 3 books full of random things to do with my ideas of Spider-Man. Yeah. So, but that kind of really started my writing career, and you can see, my attempted listing at chapters here. Very, very original names. Yeah. So, insert more cringe. But this is kind of what got me started, and I have 3 books of these just filled to the brim of random writing stuff, and it was just involved with the characters of a Marvel series without any kind of basis from the movies or the comics. It was just kind of like, hey, what if this happened? And that's kind of what started me on more of a path of writing. Or if you want to go really far back, when I was in 5th grade and watched Lord of the Rings for the first time, I tried to rewrite the Lord of the Rings just for the pure heck of it. But yeah. But what wound up happening after that was when I went into middle school, I took a writing elective and I started writing my own stories that had to have characters that didn't already exist. And I started doing random short stories. And over the course of the next 5 years, I have finally written my first book, Isle of the Dark, which, for anybody who's interested, will be coming out on a 99-cent download by no later than December. And thank you so much to Jake Volo for drawing the first ever movie picture, or poster, same difference. His feature will be on Life with Two YouTubers channel here shortly. But yes, so if it wasn't really for reading in elementary school, I wouldn't have slowly developed an obsession and a passion, and finally went to go writing on my 371-page masterpiece. So, on the occasion of National Reading Day, there you go, my selfish content and little brief history on what I do is indulge in a passion, there's a dog, and reading in general. I thought this would be just a little bit fun to do today since I'm still reading all the Percy Jackson series and it's taken kind of a memento. And I thought it was just kind of be a little bit fun to announce to you guys, because if you do want to read Isle of the Dark when the download comes out no later than December, then we have our first taste. We have our first taste of the content. So, on that note, thank you all for watching, and please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you do enjoy, and if you have any further questions on kind of like what books I've read, if you wanted to mock me for the cringe a little bit, or if you have any questions about Isle, I'll be more than happy to ask. And with that, I will see you all later!